We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this special presentation of Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 106.3. The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3.
Messi in the box. Shoots!
This is the Inter Miami pregame show, live from the ESPN West Palm studios. Here's Mike Rizzo.
It seems like an eon the last time I was on our Inter Miami radio network. But folks, it's back. The MLS is back after almost nearly 2 months off after watching a tremendous North American World Cup. We are back with MLS action with our favorite soccer team, our Inter Miami Herons. And welcome on into your Inter Miami radio network. I am the voice of Inter Miami, Mike Rizzo. Lionel Messi almost hoisted that World Cup trophy for a second time. Not only a second time in a row. Think back to 2022 when Argentina was able to win in Qatar. And then obviously here in the States, Lionel Messi and Argentina able to go all the way to the Cup final. But Spain proved to be a little much. But no Lionel Messi tonight. Him and Rodrigo de Paul on recommended rest. And folks, the amount of games that Lionel Messi and de Paul played, in a month and a half, basically, it's completely understandable. We're expecting to have the great one back in the lineup here in about 20 or so days. But Lionel Messi and Rodrigo de Paul getting a much-needed rest post the World Cup. Robert Lewandowski will be in the lineup. Lewandowski, a legendary striker for Bayern Munich. Obviously, Barcelona has had a lot of stops at a lot of big-time clubs, but Lewandowski now is wearing Chicago red, and that is who the Inter Miami Herons are going to be facing off against tonight at New Stadium. It's Inter Miami and Chicago on your Inter Miami radio network, and Robert Lewandowski making his MLS debut. Keep in mind, Chicago was supposed to play a fixture this past, I believe, Wednesday, and it got postponed. So the game last Wednesday for Chicago in Chicago got postponed because of those crazy Ontario fires. So now Robert Lewandowski will get to debut down here in Miami. But no Lionel Messi, no Rodrigo de Paul coming off a World Cup. And if we can talk about that World Cup here just for a few moments, I really think the world saw the best of America. I think the world saw not only the best of America, but the best of North America, Canada, Mexico, the United States. Truly a success. And as an American, as a United States men's national team diehard fan, was truly proud of what our country was able to do. Now, obviously, everyone will remember the crash out by the United States against Belgium, losing 4-1. But from someone who's been following that team very closely for 25 years, I think it was one of the better World Cups our lads have had since 2002, where the United States were able to go the deepest they have had in the tournament since 1930, and that was the quarterfinal when we famously beat Mexico in the round of 16. But a lot of storylines there from the World Cup. Lionel Messi finishing second in the Golden Boot race, only to Kylian Mbappe. And how could we ever forget about the hat trick that Lionel Messi had against Algeria? I mean, to open things up for the defending champs, to score a hat trick. And I felt foolish because before the tournament, I was telling friends, obviously calling the games, watching Lionel Messi, the brilliance of Messi. I go, you know what? I think Messi could be a top 5 player at the World Cup. I still think he's going to be able to score some goals and put some behind the net during this World Cup. Well, lo and behold, he led the Golden Boot race for a majority of the tournament and ultimately ended up finishing in second, only to Kylian Mbappe, who's, 26, 27 years old at the prime, the peak of his prowess, as we say here. But great World Cup, good storylines for our Herons and DePaul and Messi. And there were a couple of Chicago Fire players who are participating in the World Cup. Chris Brady. Chris Brady is a goalkeeper who you're going to see tonight for the Chicago Fire. The homegrown academy graduate was a backup goalkeeper for the United States. Joel Waterman, who you're going to see on the defensive side for Chicago. He was on the Canada squad. So a couple of players to note for the Fire who were busy over the World Cup break. Let's get into those starting lineups. I mentioned that Robert Lewandowski is in the lineup. Let's start with our Herons, though. Luis Suárez, Herman Berterame, they're going to get the nods tonight up front. But let's start in the back and work our way up front as we always do. Rocco Rios Novo is going to be between these sticks tonight, between the posts, playing goalkeeper for Inter Miami. No Dane St. Clair. Dane St. Clair will be available off of the bench. But Rocco Rios Novo, the goalkeeper who is pivotal in Inter Miami's MLS Cup run, which ultimately bared fruit and were champions, he was a big part of that. From the back to the front, Sergio Reguilon, Mikael, Ian Frey, Facundo Mora. In the midfield, you have Talasco, Segovia, Yannick Bright, and Davi Ruiz. And then up top, I met the aforementioned Luis Suárez, Herman Berterame, and then Matteo Silvetti will fill it out. Our Herons are going to be weak, are going to be a little thin. Weak's the wrong word, but thin on the bench. Inter Miami, obviously, without Lionel Messi and Rodrigo de Paul, but the worst part is 5 other players unavailable for Inter Miami. Santiago Morales is on international duty. Alexander Shaw is on international duty. So those 2 players unavailable because they're playing for their national teams. Side of that, Gonzalo Luan, Maxi Falcone, David Aishala, and Tadio Allende, all unavailable for Inter Miami tonight. So right now, as it stands, as I'm looking at my sheet, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players available off the bench for Inter Miami. One of them being backup goalkeeper Dane St. Clair. The others will start on the defensive side. Daniel Sumala, who Inter Miami just recently signed from their youth academy. He's a youth academy graduate. He is the 14th youth academy player to sign for Inter Miami in Inter Miami's history, and that is Daniel Sumala. Ezekiel Abadi-Arita, Noah Allen. So Sumala, Abadi-Arita, and Allen, the defenders. Moving on to the midfield, Ian Urquidy, Preston Plambeck, and then the 2 attackers available off the bench, Daniel Pinter and Diego Rey. But once again, the 19-year-old Sumala is just got his his paperwork figured out with becoming a true professional. He played on the MLS Next Inter Miami squad. And Inter Miami has officially signed Academy graduate Daniel Sumala to a contract running through the end of the 2026 MLS season, with options to extend the contract through the 2027 MLS sprint season. And once again, for those of you that don't know what the MLS sprint season is, it's to catch us up with the international calendar, meaning the international calendar, the club side that's on the other side of the hemisphere. You know, the Premier League plays August to May. Inter Miami and the MLS are now going to catch up to that and do their seasons that way. And the sprint season is going to be an abbreviated 14-game season that's going to take place between the winter all the way to May, coming up in 2027 to catch us up on that current timeline. So keep in mind, Sumala is probably going to be brought back for that. But a player like Sumala, these are homegrown stories that you like to see. You love to see players who have gone through the youth academy, that have came up with Inter Miami, and are now signing their big time deal with the club that they were grown up with. So the defender once again becomes the 14th Inter Miami CF Academy product to sign with the first team. This is your Inter Miami Radio Network. Let's take our first time out. When we come back, we'll continue to preview the fixture of Inter Miami and the Chicago Fire. No Lionel Messi, no Rodrigo de Paul, and plenty of other Herons still injured as well. Gonzalo Luan, Maxi Falcone, David Aishala, and Tadio Allende, Santiago Morales, and Alexander Shaw on international duty. As far as the Chicago Fire, the big storyline that we're following here in the MLS, Robert Lewandowski is officially going to make his debut tonight for the Fire. Now, when we come back, there is a certain Manchester United player that is going to be playing for Inter Miami. You saw this player play for the Brazilian national team. You saw this player play in years past for Real Madrid with Cristiano Ronaldo and Jose Mourinho and a lot of those great Real Madrid teams. It is Casemiro, who is now an Inter Miami Heron. I'll explain next on your Inter Miami radio network.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Irv, you watching the game?
Watching? I'm all over these live bets on the Hard Rock Bet app right now. Brother, I'm in the game. That's a quick winner. Si se puede, si se puede, si se puede.
Live betting on Hard Rock Bet makes any game worth celebrating.
Si se.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start live betting today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath. Proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
The Summer of Audi sales event is here. The finesse, the precision, and the power. We know the sound of performance when we hear it. Game recognizes game.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Now let's get to the pitch. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Couple of minutes away from kickoff here at New Stadium. It's our Inter Miami Herons and the Chicago Fire about to do battle. No Lionel Messi, no Rodrigo De Paul. But for the Fire's side of things, Robert Lewandowski making his debut, his MLS debut, coming up. Now, a certain player who's going to be making his MLS debut, who has had a career similar to Robert Lewandowski, is Casemiro. Casemiro officially signing with Inter Miami. There currently is an investigation for tampering on our Herons that the MLS is currently conducting. But Inter Miami has agreed on a sum of pay to the LA Galaxy, who had first rights on Casemiro. And how things work, folks, in the MLS, teams bid for first rights on a player to avoid a bidding war for said player. So for instance, in other leagues, I'm going to compare it to the Premier League. A team can hijack a player from another league. So say Manchester United and Chelsea are going for the same player, and there's a rumor that United has a fee out there for, let's call it $60 million, and it's been agreed upon. Chelsea is allowed, who is a rival club and a club within the Premier League, Chelsea is allowed to talk to the player and say, hey, we'll give you this amount of wages for a week, and they could go to the team and say, we'll give you 70 instead of 60 and hijack the deal. That doesn't happen in the MLS. You have a right to a player within the MLS, not necessarily the traditional free agency that we see in world football, but Inter Miami is going to pay a sum of money to the LA Galaxy in order to sign Casemiro. A little confusing, I understand, but the more important part is Casemiro is going to be wearing Inter Miami pink, and I think that is a position that Inter Miami will need to defend their title. I think Inter Miami has struggled a bit to fill the roles of Sergio Busquets. I think Busquets is arguably, and I think after watching a couple games, obviously for our Herons and calling the games this season, I think Busquets' loss was the biggest one, and that's all due respect to Jordi Alba. When Sergio Reguilon is healthy, I think he does a good job. The problem is he's not healthy a lot. But I do think that midfield spot to pair up with Yannick Bright, to kind of be that number 5, that deep line playmaker, that's what we've kind of been missing. And listen, Inter Miami has had a tremendous season so far. We're second on that MLS Eastern Conference table. We're a few points behind Nashville. So I think Casemiro is going to be able to take this Inter Miami team to the next level. And that's what it's about. I think, our chairman and owner, Jorge Mas, he sets the tone. Jorge Mas set the tone that this is a team that's going to be winning trophies and that's going to be competing. And as for someone who calls the Inter Miami games and is very close to the organization, I love that. I love that Inter Miami is a big-time team and we're going to spend money to get the best players and do everything we can to win. Sign me up for that. Now, I understand the whole probe by the MLS and the tampering. Folks, I wouldn't be worried about all that. Inter Miami and the Galaxy have came out and said that they have an understanding for it. I'm sure the Galaxy aren't happy about it. The Galaxy's Twitter account, or X account, whatever we call it these days, came out and tweeted about 5-6 hours ago that them and Inter Miami have come to an understanding and things are going to get figured out. The more important part is that I think our number 5 is officially figured out. Post Sergio Busquets is officially figured out. And Casemiro, listen, I'm a homer. As you guys know, my favorite clubs are Inter Miami and Manchester United. Casemiro had a tremendous club season on the Premier League side. Manchester United finished in 3rd in the Premier League table, and Casemiro was up there in total goals scored for United. And let's keep in mind, this is a team of Brian Mbromo, Mateus Cunha, Benjamin Šeško. I mean, they have dangerous players in front of net. And Casemiro was heading in goals serviced in by Bruno Fernandes all year. And folks, I'll tell you what, I got a player here in Miami that can service Casemiro on corner kicks and free kicks, and he goes by the name of Lionel Messi. So I think it's plug and play. The moment Casemiro comes to Inter Miami, I believe it's going to be plug and play. And I think a player like him is the difference between maybe winning and losing an MLS Cup. And obviously, in this instance, folks, it's on the good side. Winning. Now, the Fire are an interesting team. If we flip things on over to the Chicago Fire, the Fire are an interesting team. They, getting taken over by, or rather having Robert Lewandowski come to the team, I think was a huge deal for Chicago. They got a big star. I think Greg Berhalter, former United States men's national team head coach, I think he has done a tremendous job turning this team around. You know, I had my gripes with Greg when he coached the United States men's national team. I didn't think he was getting the best out of our lads. Give him credit. We did get to a round of 16. We did win a couple of group games with him in Qatar. But Hugo Kuipers is another big storyline with Chicago, because Kuipers has officially been transferred to CF Monterrey. Kuipers, going into this game and in the MLS season, he was for Chicago in the MLS season, Kuipers was the leading goal scorer for Chicago. Now, there's a new sheriff in town. You know, Robert Lewandowski is going to be starting game in and game out at the striker position for the Fire. So the Chicago Fire decided to cash in on a young 29-year-old Hugo Kuipers, who's got 13 goals on the MLS season. Now, it's interesting because Inter Miami, our Herons, are going to be playing against said Hugo Kuipers and Monterrey in the League's Cup action in about 2 weeks here in August. Inter Miami has a spell of about 6 games in 14 days. Now, a lot of it is League's Cup, a lot of it is MLS. Inter Miami's going to have about 2 games per week coming up here for a little bit, just to, catch up from the international break. We had, we missed a month. Folks, we basically missed 2 months of football with the World Cup. So Inter Miami's going to be playing a lot of games, and the reason I think Kuipers, it's going to be a big deal, is because he's going to be a threat for CF Monterrey, who is one of the better teams in Liga MX. Once again, Hugo Kuipers with 13 goals within the MLS this season and for the Chicago Fire. He has officially been transferred to CF Monterrey over in Mexico and Liga MX. Monterrey, arguably one of the bigger names, them, Tigres, Chivas, those 3 teams, the bigger teams when it comes to Mexican soccer. So you're going to be seeing Kuipers as an Inter Miami fan sooner rather than later. We're about 15 minutes away from kicking things off here at New Stadium. We got Inter Miami and the Chicago Fire doing battle tonight in Miami. Robert Lewandowski making his debut. Rodrigo De Paul and Lionel Messi not in the lineup tonight. Let's get you your starting 11. Once again, presented by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Folks, visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. That is AudiUSA.com to learn more. Pull into that lot. At New Stadium in that brand new Audi Q3. Make a statement. Folks, I'll tell you what. Audi is made for the yes life. Go check out all the Audis, everything they have to offer in your local South Florida Audi dealer. And once again, to find a dealer near you, go to AudiUSA.com. They sponsor our pregame show here on our Inter Miami radio network. From our back, working our way to the front, Inter Miami's going with a 4-3-3. You got Rocco Rios Novo between the posts tonight playing goalkeeper. From left to right, Sergio Reguilon at left back. Mikael, Ian Frey at center backs. Facundo Mora at right back. So how about that? Ian Frey, who is usually a fullback, right back, going to be playing center back because of some of the players we have unavailable. Tadio Allende, David Ayala, Maxi Falcone, Gonzalo Luan, all injured. And obviously Luan and Falcone, 2 staples early on in the year for Inter Miami. It was a mixture of Mikael and Falcone and Luan at the center back position. So Ian Frey, in my opinion, playing a bit out of position tonight. We'll see what head coach Guillermo Hoyos has in mind tactically. In the midfield, Talasco Segovia, Yannick Bright, and Davi Ruiz. The 3 attackers, Luis Suarez, Herman Berterame, and Matteo Silvetti. For the Chicago Fire, you got Brady in net. And keep in mind, Chris Brady backed up the goalkeepers in the World Cup, Matty Turner and Matty Freese. Brady was on that official roster. From left to right, Dean, Waterman, Elliott, and Gutman. In the midfield, Haile Selassie, Diavia, and Salatros. And then the three attackers up top, obviously Robert Lewandowski, Jonathan Bamba, and then the veteran, Philip Zinkernagel. Philip Zinkernagel has played a lot of football over his career. I actually remember him at Watford playing in the Championship and in the Premier League at moments when Watford did get promotion. But Philip Zinkernagel and Robert Lewandowski and Bamba with a dangerous attack with Greg Berhalter tonight and the Chicago Fire. Let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll continue to break down the game. We're moments away from possibly getting the players onto the pitch. I'm expecting a 7:40 kickoff coming up tonight. So let's take a timeout, and we'll continue to get you ready to go on your Inter Miami radio network.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath, proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football, because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
The Summer of Audi sales event is here. The finesse, the precision, and the power. We know the sound of performance when we hear it. Game recognizes game.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Michael Irvin, another promo just dropped on Hard Rock Bet. I got a profit boost this morning. Whoa, and a huge bonus bet just hit my account. Is the app on fire like this every week?
Only on days that end in Y. Like today, yesterday, all day, every day.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start playing today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the pitch. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Michael Irvin, another promo just dropped on Hard Rock Bet. I got a profit boost this morning. Whoa, and a huge bonus bet just hit my account. Is the app on fire like this every week?
Only on days that end in Y. Like today, yesterday, all day, every day.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start playing today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the pitch. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Welcome on back to your Inter Miami radio network. I'm expecting a 7, maybe 45 kickoff coming up for our Inter Miami Herons tonight. It is our first game back. Our first game back from the international break, from that successful North American World Cup. Lionel Messi, Rodrigo de Paul out of the lineup tonight on recommended rest from FIFA and the FIFA Pro Committee. Gosh, guys, the amount of games that Leo and Rodrigo, the hard-fought games too. I mean, 110%. Obviously, they always give their 100%, but in the World Cup, you give it a little extra more juice too. So, no Lionel Messi and Rodrigo de Paul in the lineup tonight, but Inter Miami's got a great lineup, which features Luis Suárez and Germán Berterame. Germán Berterame second in goals for our Inter Miami Herons so far this season with 7. And Luis Suárez, the last time we saw Luis Suárez was in that 6-4 victory over the Philadelphia Union, where Suárez had a hat trick. Luis is my guy. I'm hoping that he can get into the back of the net tonight. Would love to call a couple of his goal calls coming up on our Inter Miami radio network. Once again, I'm Mike Rizzo, the voice of the Herons. I'm live here at New Stadium. Back at the station is my guy, Kate Chumslin. Going to be cutting our highlights, keeping us up over the airwaves. My OG on-site producer is Oscar Gonzalez. And our frequency coordinator tonight is Paul Adams. Once again, we are waiting for our Herons to come out onto the pitch. We got the pregame festivities going on right now. We had a couple of local football teams out here on the pitch enjoying a great night on the pitch and at the soccer yard. And I think everyone still has that soccer fever from the World Cup. Got a good crowd here tonight in Miami and a good lineup. Once again, your lineups presented by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. Sergio Reguilon, Mikael, Ian Frey, and Facundo Mora. Talasco Segovia, Yannick Bright, and Davi Ruiz. And then your attackers, Luis Suárez, Germán Berterame, and Matteo Silvetti. Rocco Rios Novo will be in net tonight. And obviously our manager and gaffer, Guillermo Hoyos. For the Fire, Robert Lewandowski making his debut. Philip Zinkernagel, Jonathan Bamba will join him in the attack. But let's get in the back and work our way up front. In net tonight, you have Chris Brady. Chris Brady fresh off of making the United States roster on the World Cup. From left to right, Gutman, Elliott, Waterman, Dean, Saletros, Diavia, and Salazi in the midfield, and then the attackers, Zinkernagel, Lewandowski, and Bamba. We can focus even more on Robert Lewandowski again. I'll tell you what, the Polish striker has had a heck of a career. Scored 100 goals at Borussia Dortmund from 2010 to 2014. Scored 344 goals for Bayern Munich in 8 years. Folks, 375 games, 344 goals for Robert Lewandowski. And then you fast forward his 4 years at Barcelona. 120 goals in 193 appearances. And to be fair, Lewandowski, the last couple of years, the last year I would say he was at Barcelona, started to slow down a bit in my honest opinion. But he is always going to be a threat in front of net, and I think he's just going to do some great things for the Chicago Fire. So we are celebrating Lewandowski and his debut coming up tonight for the Fire. But plenty of quality, plenty of great players in that Inter Miami lineup, including Luis Suárez, Matteo Silvetti, and Berterame. I really think this is a dangerous attack for Inter Miami tonight. I think Inter Miami is going to have plenty of opportunities. Inter Miami currently sitting second on that Eastern Conference table. You won't have to look far for the Fire. The Chicago Fire currently sitting in third place on that MLS Eastern Conference. The Fire have really had an incredible season under Greg Berhalter. Berhalter, I think, has turned around that entire organization in almost less than a calendar year. And with that said, folks, we finally get to the national anthem. Let's take our final time out. This is your Inter Miami Radio Network.
The Summer of Audi sales event is here. The finesse, the precision, and the power. We know the sound of performance when we hear it. Game recognizes game.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath, proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Irv, you watching the game?
Watching? I'm all over these live bets on the Hard Rock Bet app right now. Brother, I'm in the game. That's a quick winner. Si se puede, si se puede, si se
Live
puede.
betting on Hard Rock Bet makes any game worth celebrating.
Si se.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start live betting today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football, because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
The Summer of Audi sales event is here. The finesse, the precision, and the power. We know the sound of performance when we hear it. Game recognizes game.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Now let's get to the pitch. Here's Mike Rizzo.
The pink smoke is legitimately in the air as we had a couple of pink fireworks light off. A pink-covered pitch here at New Stadium. But national anthem's done, starting lineups are out, and we are officially about to be underway here at New Bank Stadium. It's Inter Miami versus the Chicago Fire. We appreciate our good friends at our local South Florida Audi dealer. They sponsor our pregame show, and once again, they sponsor our starting lineups. Sergio Reguilon, Mikael, Ian Frey, Facundo Mora, Telasco Segovia, Yannick Bright, Davi Ruiz, Luis Suárez, Herman Berterame, and Matteo Silvetti. Rocco Rios Novo in the net for Inter Miami tonight. Robert Lewandowski is making his MLS debut tonight for the Chicago Fire. Lewandowski, the legendary goal scorer who has played for the likes of Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, has scored over almost over 600 goals in his career. This is a player who knows how to put it in the back of the net. No Lionel Messi, no Rodrigo de Paul. They are on recommended rest after the World Cup, which makes complete sense. And finally, we are approaching the midfield circle. Once again, my OG on-site producer is Oscar Gonzalez tonight. And I know we can't hear Oscar, but Oscar, I'm tasting that firework. I don't know what the hell they put in that thing. But wow, is that a potent firework. As I still think the players are trying to fight through it as well. But you hear that crowd, we're ready to go. Inter Miami and the Fire, our Herald season back underway post the international break. And Inter Miami immediately wins it off of the kickoff. But then a pass between Luis Suárez and Germán Berterame goes awry. A 4-3-3 for Inter Miami tonight and a 4-3-3 for the Fire. We'll have to see how things come tactically together for both sides tonight. But early on and right now, Inter Miami has to press on. Germán Berterame is pressing Gutman on the near side touchline. And a sliding Facundo Mora sends that ball out of bounds. Inter Miami second on the MLS table. The Fire right on their heels at 3. The Fire were, God forbid, get a win tonight versus our Herons. Inter Miami would still be in second place. Herons got 31 points. The Fire with 26. So a couple of game cushions, rather 5-point cushion for Inter Miami. As I mentioned, Inter Miami pressing early. Segovia, Suárez, and Berterame. It seems like Suárez is the one playing the striker tonight as the Fire immediately launch a ball forward. This is Zinkernagel on the far side touchline, saves it from going out of bounds. He's still there. Now he's going to retreat to Dean. Now here's Diavia. Diavia will play it right at the midfield circle to Elliott. Chicago probing right at midfield with their defense. I mentioned Chris Brady, the goalkeeper for the Fire. He was on the United States men's national team. He was the third option at goalkeeper behind Matt Freese of NYCFC and Matty Turner of the New England Revolution. So a full-on MLS goalkeeper roster for Mauricio Pochettino and our lads. Throw in on the far side touchline for Chicago. Back to Brady. Now Waterman and Elliott get this one past midfield. This is Zinkernagel. Zinkernagel was looking for a streaking Dean on the far side touchline. Over there now is Sergio Reguilon trying to marshal it. And that one will be a throw-in right by the corner kick stick of Inter Miami. So Inter Miami going to have a throw deep in their territory. On throw-in duties tonight on the far side touchline, at least for the first half, is Sergio Reguilon, the left back. Reguilon has played big-time club football at Real Madrid, Tottenham Hotspur, and company, other big-time teams. Now, a bad turnover. Here is the Fire right outside of the box is Diavia, who takes it on outside of the penalty arc. And it was a slow dribbler right at Rocco Rios Novo, but that is going to count as a shot on target. So Diavia with the first shot of the game. The Chicago Fire immediately have a press on as Rios Novo's booting it deep, looking for Yannick Bright right at midfield in the near side touchline. Bright wins it, and he plays Mora. Mora doing a good job of centralizing the ball, but that's where it breaks down. Diavia able to rip it from Yannick Bright. Now Chris Brady on it in his box. Brady, far side touchline to Dean. Dean sends it past midfield. Mikael heads it away. 50-50 ball won by Segovia. Segovia with a nice pass to Suárez. Suárez to Berterame. Berterame back to Luis. To Bright in the box. And that's where it broke down. It'll come back near side touchline. Going to be a throw-in for our Herons. But Luis Suárez able to make an impact on a couple of nifty passes to Germán Berterame. Going to be a throw-in on the near side touchline. This is Facundo Mora. Inter Miami faithful in full voice. Mora throws it into Suárez. Suárez one times it back to Facundo. Facundo services it into the box, but now it's like Lewandowski and the Fire can get out onto the run after it was cleared away. But a good job by Ian Frey to get it out of trouble. Now here's Telasco Segovia. Far side touchline, Matteo Silvetti. Silvetti with a nifty move, trying to go backwards. That one beamed out of bounds. Going to be a throw-in for Inter Miami. Reguilon immediately throws it in. Mikael now back to Ian Frey. Frey inching closer to midfield. He'll try to switch his fields. Here is a deep pass looking for Silvetti, switching his fields. And that one will roll out of bounds. Silvetti not on the same page there, and it'll be a throw-in for the Chicago Fire. Long throw-in looking for Diavia. And now taking the ground and a foul on the far side touchline. No cards shown. It's going to be a free kick for Inter Miami. Sergio Reguilon going to handle the free kick. Reguilon will switch his fields from the far side touchline to Mora on the near side touchline on the kick. Now Yannick Bright will retreat to the defense, and Ian Frey. Mikael being pressed by Lewandowski and Bamba. By the way, the referee tonight, Rubel Vasquez. Seen him a couple of times this season on our Inter Miami radio network. 6 minutes gone by in the first half. 0-0 Inter Miami and the Chicago Fire. Matteo Silvetti on the far side touchline. Lost the duel to Dean. Now the Fire are on it. Now it'll break down in the midfield, and it'll be a throw-in for Inter Miami. Throw-in immediately taken. Segovia wanted a foul. Vasquez swallows his whistle. The Fire on the run, and what a tackle by Yannick Bright. Now Segovia gets pushed off the ball, and there is Rubel Vasquez with the whistle. The Herons will go quick. Segovia plays it to Reguilon. Reguilon inching closer to the box. He's now in the box. Finds Silvetti. Silvetti service in, and that one headed out of bounds. Going to be the first corner kick of the night. Brought to you by Lytle Rider, Smith, Ivy, and Farmrath. For over 40 years, Lytle Rider, Smith, Ivy, and Farmrath have been serving injured people and their families. Visit foryourrights.com. Folks, foryourrights.com. Lytle Rider, Smith, Ivy, and Farmrath have your back on your Inter Miami radio network. Now Sergio Reguilon going to take a left foot, left side corner. Swings in and deflected away by that firewall. Reguilon back on it. Nifty move. Service into the back stick! And almost headed in by Silvetti. Inter Miami still on it on the near side touchline. Bright crosses it into the back stick, and that one is won by Selassie. The Fire now struggling to get out. Inter Miami's got to press on the far side touchline. Dean with a nifty move, leaving defenders behind him. Can they get it past midfield? And no, says Mikael. Now a bad turnover on the far side touchline. Here come the Fire with numbers. But thankfully, Yannick Bright and Mikael were able to figure it out. Diavia got a little too far forward and a little ahead of himself. And Inter Miami was able to recover at a crucial moment. Inter Miami now sitting on it with their two center backs. Mikael, now Segovia involved. To the middle of the Bright. Bright looking to Suárez. A bad pass there. And Gutman on it now for the Fire. Chicago, once again, a good team this year. 26 points on the MLS table. Should not be taken lightly. Not saying the Herons are, but they are a dangerous team. Here's Diavia. Now back to their two center backs in Elliott and Waterman. I should mention, Joel Waterman did play for Team Canada. So two players for Chicago played in the World Cup, and Waterman and Brady. Now, Brady didn't get any time, but he was on the roster. The Fire probing out of their back line, and now a turnover. Luis Suárez streaking in. And now I think we have a handball. Rubel Vasquez blows his whistle. And I'm at your mercy. That was Sergio Reguilon and his nifty neon cleats winning that ball. He was looking for Suárez. And then it was a handball. So Reguilon going to be standing over a free kick. Now, I would say Lionel Messi had a chance to maybe put this in the back of the net. I think Reguilon is going to probably try to go to the back stick on this one, either to Frey or Bertarame. 10 minutes have gone by, 10.5 minutes in the first half, 0-0, the Herons and the Fire. Reguilon goes towards that back stick, headed away by the Chicago wall. Now on it is Yannick Bright. Bright will retreat to the midfield and Facundo Mora. Now Reguilon. Reguilon streaking on the far side touchline. He'll go to Bertarame towards the penalty area. Bertarame to the ground. Suárez ends up with it, shoots it, deflected. And the Fire are now on it. Inter Miami still has a press on. Deep in their box, Suárez trying to win it against Waterman. Ball won by Segovia. Silvetti inching to the box. Gets it to Bright at the penalty arc. Bad touch. And now the ball leaks out back to midfield, but Inter Miami on it. It was a good idea by Matteo Silvetti. Bad first touch by Bright at the penalty arc, but Inter Miami will be able to reset. 11 minutes, 0-0, Inter Miami and Chicago. This is your Inter Miami Radio Network. Mike Rizzo on the call. Our OG on-site producer is Oscar Gonzalez. Frequency coordinator Paul Adams. Kate Chumsland back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Streaking into the box is Silvetti. Now Segovia to Bright. Near side touchline, Facundo Mora. Now back to the center backs. Inter Miami will recycle. Here's Mikael. Mikael gets it past midfield. Streaking into the box on a lob pass was Suárez. Decent effort by Mikael, but Chris Brady snuffed it out and was able to get it. I mentioned Greg Berhalter, the coach for the Chicago Fire, has done a tremendous job turning this program around. In third place on that MLS table this season, the Fire. Gutman now near side touchline. Gutman looking forward. Is he on sides? And I believe he is. He's streaking into the box. Bomba shot! Goal! But he's got to be off sides. And finally, the flag comes up. We're waiting an eternity for that flag to come up. 15 yards off sides. Come on! 13th minute. Offsides, finally the call. I don't know why we let that one play out as long as it did. Now Rubel Vasquez telling our Herons it's in the wrong spot for the free kick, and now finally play resumed. 13th minute, 0-0 Inter Miami and Chicago. Sergio Reguilon, far side touchline. Now Mikael, Inter Miami playing out of their defense. We've seen Reguilon, the left fullback, get forward. Moore has been the fullback that has kind of stayed put tonight. Inter Miami has already been going with three at the back. Bad turnover. Here's the Fire in the box. Across in. Gutman getting lined up for one. No, he'll cross it into the back. Lewandowski shot and blocked by Yannick Bright. Lewandowski, with his first attempt, gets deflected away. And a good job there by the Inter Miami defense to hold. Diavia did a good job to find Lewandowski. It was a bang, bang, bang play. But now Chicago is going to have a corner kick presented by Letter Rider Smith, Ivy, and Fromrat. Visit foryourrights.com. For over 40 years, they've been serving injured people and their families in South Florida. 14:24, 14:25. We're closing the 15-minute mark in the first half. A chance and a corner kick coming up for the Fire. Lewandowski getting set up on the back stick. Whistle blown by Rubel Vasquez. Here comes the service. Cross in, headed away by Suárez. Silvetti on it. He's trying to play a streaking Bertarame, but instead it'll go to Dean and the Chicago defense. Diavia now will retreat back to Saletros at midfield. Saletros gets it back to Bamba. Bamba, the left winger, on the near side touchline. He'll play it in the middle to Diavia. Near side touchline again. Now to the defense. Chicago probing on the near side touchline, left side in Inter Miami territory. Now centralized back to Bamba. Inter Miami got a good form defensively here right now. Begging for the Fire to make a mistake. And does that mistake come? No, a foul. Rubel Vasquez blowing his whistle. Philip Zinkernagel went to the ground. No cards shown, but Yannick Bright issued a warning. Beautiful night at New Stadium. A hot night at New Stadium. Summer heat is here in South Florida. 16th minute, 0-0 Inter Miami and Chicago. Standing over the free kick is Saletros. Trying to get a number on the other player. That's number 11, Philip Zinkernagel. Keep in mind, again, Philip Zinkernagel played for Watford 2021, 2022, 2023. Premier League side for a couple of seasons. Now in the championship. He's had a good year in the MLS this year. Zinkernagel looking back stick, headed into the box. Lewandowski tried to back heel it, and now we have a foul. Good ball in by Zinkernagel. It was a header from Elliott to Lewandowski, who tried to back heel that one. And he ended up fouling an Inter Miami Heron. We're going to have a free kick for Inter Miami out of our box. 17th minute, 0-0, Inter Miami and Chicago. Plenty of other MLS action going on around the league tonight. Keep me updated on all your games on the Inter Miami Radio Network. The press is on for the Fire. Near side touchline, Moura. Now back to Frey. Oh, did a howler! No! A howler by Rios Novo! And that's going to be a goal for the Chicago Fire. Oh, no! Oh, no, folks. Rocco swung and missed on a pass, and it's going to be 1-0 to the Fire. Oh, that's unfortunate. It was a pass in from Ian Frey, a very simple pass to Novo, and golly, that's one of the worst howlers you're going to see in the MLS this season, folks. Oh, boy. 1-0 Chicago. I'll tell you what, I'm just about done with goalkeeper issues. Between Matt Freese doing that for the United States and now this, oh, I am done with goalkeeper howlers, folks. Done. I've seen enough. But 1-0, the Fire. Near side touchline, Moura. Can Inter Miami respond? And they're actually going to charge that on Ian Frey because Rios Novo never touched it. Rocco gets it back, and he's going to play out of the defense. Now, I will say, Dane St. Clair was the starting goalkeeper for Inter Miami all season long. Didn't play a minute for Team Canada, and he's on the bench tonight. I was surprised to see Rios Novo on the sheet. Now, we know he's got quality. My God, he was an unbelievable goalkeeper for Inter Miami during the Cup run. But that was a bad, folks, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That was awful. Pass into Moura in the box, deflected by Gutman, and it's going to be a corner kick for Inter Miami, presented by Lytle Ryder Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath. For over 40 years, Lytle Ryder Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath have been serving injured people and their families. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Their main office is in Palm Beach Gardens. 19th minute, 1-0 Chicago. An own goal going to be charged against Ian Frey. And taking the corner, by the way, is going to be Davi Ruiz. Ruiz swings it in, looking for Bright, headed away. Good clearance there by the Fire. But Rios Novo took a swing and a miss. You know, folks, I can do baseball play-by-play too, but that's the best way I could put it. He looked at a fastball right down in the middle, and he got air. And sadly, it was about a 65-mile-an-hour fastball comparatively to a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that we usually see. But it's 1-0 Chicago. Inter Miami, though, has been looking threatening since the howler. And on the far side touchline, Reguilon will have a throw in right outside of the box. He plays Silvetti. Silvetti cuts into the box. Now a one-time pass to Suarez to Reguilon. Reguilon, far side touchline, cross into the box, and almost deflected in by Inter Miami, but a clearance for the Fire, and now Chris Brady will grasp it in his hands. That one bounced around for a bit. And then Ian Frey almost got a head on it, but Brady there. And a wicked deflection by Brady, who tries clearing it. Inter Miami and Yannick Bright with good pressure on Chris Brady, the goalkeeper. And that one is going to go out of bounds after Waterman decided to just kick it behind the net after Yannick Bright got that ball in the air off of an attempted Chris Brady clearance. Corner kicks are presented by Letter Rider, Smith, Ivy, and Front Rath, folks. ForYourRights.com. ForYourRights.com, main offices in Palm Beach Gardens. They're the people that represent us when we get injured on our Inter Miami radio network. Segovia going to take the right side, right-footed corner. Swings it to the penalty arc. Reguilon lines it up, deflected by Waterman. Now this is Bamba on the run for the Fire. They have numbers. He plays it onto Zinkernagel, and a nifty win of the ball and tackle by Mora. They had numbers there too. Good job by Inter Miami to sniff that out. Here comes Telasco Segovia. He'll swing it to Luis Suarez. Suarez cutting it towards the penalty arc. Luis to Berterame, back to Luis, shot, and no! Just to the right side of that right post. And it'll be a goal kick. Good attempt there, and good shot by Luis Suarez, but still 1-0 in the 22nd minute. Now taking the free kick out of the box is going to be Elliott. Elliott then immediately plays his goalkeeper, Chris Brady. Brady now back to Elliott. Elliott looking deep, blocked by Suarez. Going to be throwing right in front of us on the near side touchline in Chicago Fire territory. 23rd minute, 1-0. Chicago leads Inter Miami after a howler by Rocco Rios Novo. Technically an own goal against Ian Frey. Been unfair. That's how the ball, that's how the ball rolls sometimes. Ball in the air, won by Inter Miami. This is Facundo Mora. Mora now to Mikael. Now back to Rocco Rios Novo. Rios Novo outside his own penalty arc will play it back to Mikael. Suarez and taking the ground and a foul. Rubel Vasquez blowing his whistle. Going to be a free kick for Inter Miami. Segovia plays it quickly. He gets it back. Far side touchline, Reguilon. Now Mikael. He'll switch his fields to Frey. Now near side touchline right at midfield, Mora. Back to the defense we go. Frey. Bright to the midfield circle. Now far side touchline, Mikael to Reguilon. Reguilon centralizes it to Suarez. Suarez trying to get his nifty one-timer pass to Berterame. It breaks down. Diavia on it for the Fire. Now Gutman. Gutman booting it deep, looking for Robert Lewandowski. That ball won by Mikhail. Lewandowski tracking, and now Mikhail leaves him in his wake. Here's Segovia. Segovia, good pass there to Yannick Bright. Can Inter Miami tinker a little bit here? Dithejane to Reguilon, right at midfield. Reguilon will switch his fields to Mora. Near side touchline, Facundo Mora. Mora with acres of space finds Suárez. Now we'll recycle back to midfield and Yannick Bright. And now Mikhail. Inter Miami playing a slow brew here. Far side touchline, Reguilon. Now Silvetti. Mikhail. Right at midfield to Frey. Ian Frey playing center back tonight, by the way. Frey to Suárez. Good pass. And into the box. Is that a foul? And he points to the spot. Davi Ruiz earning a penalty. That is always a foul. And Davi Ruiz has earned Inter Miami a penalty kick in the 26th minute. Now the real question is who's going to take the penalty with Lionel Messi and Rodrigo de Paul not here. And it is hometown favorite and Oscar Gonzalez's favorite, Luis Suárez. Once again, this is your Inter Miami Radio Network. Mike Rizzo on the call. Kate Chumsland back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Oscar Gonzalez, Paul Adams on site with me. We have a penalty kick for Luis Suárez. It's 1-0 Chicago. Can Suárez tie it up in the 26th minute? Chris Brady, the goalkeeper, for the Fire. Whistle. Shot. Goal! Off of the left post and into the back of the net. Luis Suárez tying it up in the 26th minute. 1-1. This one all even. So Luis Suárez, who had to watch all of his buddies at the World Cup, De Paul, Messi, we saw him in the box. We saw him in plenty of matches. He finally gets a chance, and he puts it into the back of the net on the penalty, on the spot kick. That feels good for Luis Suárez. 1-1, Inter Miami and the Fire now in the 27th minute. Play immediately resumed. Diavia and Gutman on it for the Fire. Waterman and Elliott playing it onto the defense. I will say I am used to hydration breaks. Oscar, my OG on-site producer, just mentioned no hydration breaks. It does feel weird, doesn't it? Seems like we're missing something here. No hydration breaks in the MLS, folks. 27th minute, now the 28th minute, 1-1. Always hydration breaks in here with the air water that we have up here in the press box. Does it make you thirstier? It just might. Chicago now cross into the box. Oh my goodness! Oh, he got it all wrong. So folks, cross into the box. It was headed into a dangerous spot. And my goodness, did Jonathan Bamba set that to Boca. He set that to Boca. That's in the 15th row. Inter Miami with a bit of a break. It's a nifty header there to lay it up to Bamba. And like I said, he sent that to the Vice City. He sent that to the boys in the 15th row, to Boca, where I live in West Palm. Rios Novo clears it out of his box. Silvetti getting up for a header. And that one will roll out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for Inter Miami. 1-1 your score. A penalty kick, a spot kick for Luis Suárez in the 26th minute. And the Fire getting in first with an own goal by Ian Frey. But Rios Novo missed the pass. It's the best way I could put it. You know what? You ever see Charlie Brown? They pulled the football up from him. He got air. It's the best way I could put it. All right, and inching towards the boxes, Segovia. Fight for it is on, and Diavia, big body in that big field, won it. The Fire and Gutman have acres of space on the left side, and Gutman looking to switch his fields. It's never the pass there, and thankfully goes out of bounds. He was looking for Philip Zinkernagel on that far side touchline, going to be a throw-in for Inter Miami. And hang on, Oscar. Is this a hydration break? Now here's our hydration break. Let's send it. While Kate Chumsford gets a 1-minute break prepared, let's talk a little bit about what we've seen so far. Luis Suárez with a penalty kick, making things 1-1. Rocco Rios Novo got Charlie Brown, got the ball pulled from him. But let's take a timeout on your Inter Miami radio network.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The greatest shopping event of the summer is here. Macy's Black Friday and July sale is back, where you'll find 40 to 60% savings on all the hottest summer fashion and more. Don't wait. Get first dibs on everything you love about Black Friday shopping, from unbeatable sales across the store to curated styles for the season at lower than low prices. Head to Macy's now for a fun-filled holiday shopping adventure smack dab in the middle of summer. It's the can't-miss sale of the month. Black Friday and July at Macy's. Savings off select prices. Exclusions apply.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Now let's get to the pitch. Here's Mike Rizzo.
I joked around about it, but hydration break is done. And we're going to have a throw-in for Inter Miami on the far side touchline in their own territory, right outside of their box. But Inter Miami, folks, tied 1-1 with the Chicago Fire. Let's give you a couple of match stats, match facts. Not a lot of shots on target for both sides. Each team 1 shot on target, 7 total shots in the game, 4 for Inter Miami, 3 for Chicago. Inter Miami winning the possession battle 54-46. And the Fire actually do have a big chance missed. And that was what Jonathan Bamba sent it to the 15th roll in Palm Beach County. 32nd minute, 1-1. Inter Miami on it on the near side touchline with Facundo Mora. Right at midfield now, Segovia. To Yannick Bright. Bright, nifty move, gets it to Mora again on the near side touchline. Mora ball roll to Bright. Bright getting pressed by Diavia. He'll switch his fields, trying to get to Reguilon and Silvetti. It ends up with Reguilon. Reguilon, low-driven pass to the penalty arc, cleared away by the Fire. On it, though, with a second chance is Mikael. Inter Miami spread out thin defensively with Mikael up with the attack on the far side touchline. And is that going to be a turnover? No. Ian Frey able to win it. Frey goes to the ground on the far side touchline, and Rubel Vasquez blows his whistle. Foul. Going to be a free kick for Inter Miami on the far side touchline. Good job there by Frey. Inter Miami was spread thin defensively with Yannick Bright, and then Frey, the second center back, up with the attack. Frey wins a free kick, and Reguilon takes it. Silvetti immediately plays Suárez, far side touchline. Now to Reguilon. Inter Miami will recycle the midfield and Mikael. Now Frey. Frey directing traffic, decides to go to the far side. And now the far side touchline, Reguilon. Here's Yannick Bright, right at midfield. He tried finding Berterame, but it finds Gutman instead of the Fire. And now Chicago has possession. 34th minute, 1-1, Inter Miami and the Fire. It's a little under 10 minutes until we hear about extra time. You're going to get 2 minutes for the hydration break either way. Rios Novo ends up with it in his own box after Gutman was looking forward. Right outside of the penalty arc Mikael, two-man two-ball with him and Ian Frey. Mikael getting pressed now. He'll find Reguilon. Reguilon loses the ball, but Mikael is there. Now to Segovia. Inter Miami's got some pressure on him. Got to lock in here. Far side touchline. Ball rolls out of bounds. There will be a throw-in for the for Inter Miami. Once again, Reguilon handles the far side touchline throws, as the fullbacks usually do on their respected side. 35th minute, 1-1 Inter Miami and Chicago. Frey and Bright. Now Bright inching closer to the midfield circle. Mikael. Now far side touchline, Reguilon to Bright. Bright now to Segovia. Segovia finds Silvetti. Silvetti, nifty move. He's in the box. Is this a chance? Shot and blocked by Chris Brady. Good job there by the young Matteo Silvetti. I like to say he plays like his hair is on fire. And he had an opportunity in front of net, near side, went near post. And that one deflected away by Brady. Going to be a corner kick presented by Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Farnrath. Visit foryourrights.com. For over 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Farnrath have been serving injured people and their families in South Florida. Reguilon, left foot, left corner, header, Bertarame, blocked by Brady. Oh my goodness, Herman Bertarame almost had one of his better goals of the season. Good service in by Reguilon, and unlucky to not be in the back of the net. Davi Ruiz near side touchline. Ruiz cutting in to the byline. Ruiz, nifty move. Got to do something with it though. And him and Bamba battling it out, and that's never a foul. Got to get rid of that if you're Ruiz. And now on the ground is Bamba. He's still rolling on the ground. Coming up with the attack is Dean. Dean on the run. Diavia, back stick to Lewandowski. Lewandowski has it right outside of the box. Near side touchline, Gutman. Gutman into the box. Pass in, service in, won by Frey. Can't quite clear it. Now Yannick Bright boots it away. 50-50 ball in the midfield. Suarez and Elliott doing battle. Now another 50-50 ball. And now Rubel Vasquez will blow his whistle. I believe we have a foul right outside of the midfield circle in Inter Miami territory. And it's going to go against Diavia. No card. No card shown. But it'll be a free kick for Inter Miami. 37th minute. 1-1 Inter Miami in the fire. It was the own goal for Rocco Rios Novo. And then Luis Suarez with a penalty. Suarez scored a spot kick awarded by Davi Ruiz. Oh, and almost an opportunity for our Herons. Dean misplayed a header, and Silvetti almost ended up on the other end of it in the 38th minute. Avia, Chicago playing out of the defense. This is Dean. Now on it is Lewandowski. Good pass. Wow. Gutman, acres of space on the left side. He cuts into the box. Here is a chance for Zinkernagel. And it was a good defensive effort by Ian Frey and Segovia to clean it up. The Fire now trying to push that ball forward again, but it'll go out of bounds. And Ian Frey with an inspiring performance defensively so far. But Lewandowski found Gutman on that left side flank. Gutman laid it up, and it looked like it was going to be an opportunity for Zinkernagel. But Ian Frey, good job there tracking back and clearing it out of danger. Him and Segovia in the vicinity as well. Mikael, 39th minute, 1-1 Inter Miami in Chicago. 6 minutes away from finding out extra time. And a nice streaking ball in. Here's Reguilon, shot blocked. Oh my goodness, how isn't he in the back of the net? Wow, what a stop by Chris Brady. But Inter Miami with a second shot. Here's Silvetti outside of the penalty arc. Now to Reguilon. And I think we're going to reset with Segovia back to Reguilon. Now Segovia. They're candy bar in the door on that Chicago Fire defense, and they finally thwarted away. Oh my goodness, how isn't Reguilon in the back of the net? He was one-on-one with Chris Brady, and a big-time block by Brady. Fire on it in their own half. This is Jonathan Bamba. Bamba inching to midfield. With the attack now is Dean. Far side touchline, Diavia. In Inter Miami territory now are the Fire. Defenders up with the attack. Diavia to Bamba. Zinkernagel crossing it in and finally cleared away out of the box. Yannick Bright. Zinkernagel was looking for Lewandowski. And in the 40th minute, the Fire are going to have a free kick presented by Leto Rider Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath. For over 40 years, Leto Rider Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath have been serving injured people and their families for over 40 years. Visit foryourrights.com. Yeah, Reguilon got it all wrong on that strike. He went to the near side. He is left-footed. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Probably should have went right foot on that opportunity. And now across in for the Fire, back stick, looking for Elliott, and I believe, nope, that's going to be a goal kick. 41st minute, 1-1 Inter Miami and the Fire. Mikael going to take the goal kick, or rather, excuse me, the free kick. And I think they called offsides. Yeah, they must have called a handball or an offsides. Mikael looking for Suárez. Suárez heads it to Silvetti. And Suárez trying to catch up with the ball. He won't get there. The Fire are on it. Over the midfield mark is Chicago. Diavia right outside of the midfield circle. He plays Dean. Dean on that far side touchline. Centralizes it again. Now Zinkernagel right outside of the box. Dangerous spot for the Fire. A step over. Zinkernagel. Cross it. Shot blocked. Rocco Rios Novo getting in front of a dangerous opportunity for the Fire. That one was out of the midfield. I'm trying to get you a number up here in the booth. But the Fire back on it. Diavia on it on the near side touchline, won by Inter Miami. Here's Luis Suárez, and he's unable to control it. A wild ball, to be fair. And Salatros had that shot on target and stopped by Rios Novo. Salatros with a good opportunity there for the Fire about a minute ago. 43rd minute, 1-1 Inter Miami and the Fire. Diavia. Salatros right at midfield. All 11 players back for Inter Miami. Segovia tried going forward to Bright, but the Fire parked on the ball right now on the near side touchline with Diavia and Zinkernagel. Zinkernagel plays a streaking Bamba. Bamba tried passing it in, and that one will be a corner kick presented by Leto Rider Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath for over 40 years. Leto Rider Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath have been serving injured people and their families. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Zinkernagel going to be taking the corner. From the left side, going to be a right footer. Whistle, service in, and header over the crossbar. Going to be a goal kick for Inter Miami. It was Gutman who almost had a chance to put that one in the back of the net. 44-41, 44-42. We're moments away from seeing how much extra time we're going to have here in the first half. Rios Novo boots it away. And extra time has been allotted. 4 minutes of extra time presented by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. AudiUSA.com to learn more. Proud sponsors of Extra Time on ESPN 106.3 on your Inter Miami Radio Network. Bad turnover there by Suárez and Mora. On the run is Zinkernagel. Zinkernagel in the box, tackled from behind, and no whistle. Zinkernagel was looking for a foul, but Segovia got all ball. Can Inter Miami hit him on the counter? Here is Telasco. Segovia goes to the near side touchline to Mora. Mora now cutting into the box. No, he's going to pass it to Segovia right outside of the penalty arc. Telasco, nice pass to Berterame, and Herman had a bad first touch, and I believe the flag is up, offsides anyway, on Herman Berterame. 46 minutes, 1 minute into the allotted 4, presented by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Chris Brady going to boot this one away from his own box. Now ball won by Inter Miami. Now a plethora of headers. Now Segovia will foot it down. And a foul. Rubel Vasquez blowing his whistle. That's going to go against Salatros. Segovia still down. '47th minute, 2 minutes into the allotted 4. Inter Miami sitting on the ball in Chicago territory. And as I say that, the announcer's cursed. Ball won by Salatros. Diavia, near side touchline. Looking for Salatros, but a bad pass. Now Inter Miami going to boot it away with Rios Novo. Header in the air. Still in the air after multiple headers, and now won by Segovia again out of the air. Segovia with acres of space. He likes having the ball as he finds Suárez on the far side touchline. Now Silvetti. Silvetti with a nice turn. Got to do something with it, though. Gets it to Reguilon. Reguilon crossed into the box. Suárez tried winding up for a bicycle kick, and then Mora got it wrong. Off with the volley. But Luis was ready to get on his bike. He was looking for 2. But Luis Suárez, the ball obviously cleared away before it got on his boot, and he could get on his bike. But 1-1, the score, 48th minute. We're 3.5 minutes into the allotted 4. Couple more seconds here of the first half. 1-1 the Fire and Inter Miami. Chris Brady boots away the goal kick. Bamba, he turns it over. Good job there by Davi Ruiz and Mora, but they got their next pass wrong. Sloppy play right now for both sides. Speaking of more sloppy play, Inter Miami almost had it, and now they give it right back to Salatros on the far side touchline. This is Yannick Bright now playing it to Ruiz. Back to Bright, still on the near side touchline. And I'm at your mercy, folks. I was at the near side, not the far side. And a foul. Rubel Vasquez blowing his whistle. We have reached 4 minutes of the allotted 4, and I believe that is halftime. And it is 1-1 your score. Inter Miami and the Chicago Fire. A howler by Rocco Rios Novo allowed Chicago to score the first goal of the game, and then a penalty kick by Luis Suárez, which was the penalty awarded and won by Davi Ruiz. We'll break it all down next on your halftime show on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. they've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
The Summer of Audi sales event is here. The finesse, the precision, and the power. We know the sound of performance when we hear it. Game recognizes game.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football, because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The greatest shopping event of the summer is here. Macy's Black Friday and July sale is back, where you'll find 40 to 60% savings on all the hottest summer fashion and more. Don't wait. Get first dibs on everything you love about Black Friday shopping, from unbeatable sales across the store to curated styles for the season at lower than low prices. Head to Macy's now for a fun-filled holiday shopping adventure smack dab in the middle of summer. It's the can't miss sale of the month. Black Friday and July at Macy's. Savings off select prices. Exclusions apply.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Now let's get to the pitch. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Well, it's 1-1 here at halftime. Inter Miami with 4 shots on target, 8 total. They got 1 goal to show, and it came off of a penalty kick by Luis Suárez, which was won by Davi Ruiz. Now, Gage Chamberlain has all the highlights at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. The Fire, as I mentioned, 1-1. The Fire did get into the back of the net, but it was self-inflicted by Inter Miami. Rocco Rios Novo with a really bad howler in that first half. Rios Novo getting the nod at keeper over Dane St. Clair. Let's listen to the first goal of the game. Poor Rocco Rios Novo with a moment to forget. The press is on for the Fire. Near side touchline, Moura. Now back to Frey. Oh, did a howler! No! A howler by Rios Novo! And that's going to be a goal for the Chicago Fire. Oh, no! And don't mean to laugh at myself, but truly the best way I could put it, folks, if you ever watched Charlie Brown growing up, when they lift the ball up from him and he completely whiffs the ball. Now, sadly, obviously nobody lifted the soccer ball up, but certainly Rios Novo did not hit the ball, and it ended up rolling into the back of the net. Now, Luis Suárez was able to get into the back of the net on a spot kick. I mentioned Davi Ruiz winning a penalty for Inter Miami in the box, and Luis Suárez made him pay. Whistle, shot, goal! Off of the left post and into the back of the net. Luis Suárez tying it up in the 26th minute. 1-1. This one all even. Yeah, and Luis Suárez, I mentioned, had to watch all of his buddies at the World Cup. Had to watch Lionel Messi. Had to watch Rodrigo de Paul. So I honestly felt bad. And listen, after watching that Uruguay team, I think they could have used a little Luis Suárez on that sideline and on that touchline. But Suárez getting left out of that Uruguayo lineup. And obviously Uruguay, one of the more disappointing teams of the tournament. But good to see Luis get into the back of the net, and that was Inter Miami's first goal post the international break. Let's deep dive a little bit on the statistics. Inter Miami leading the possession battle 53% to 47%. Both teams sitting at exactly 1 expected goal. 15 total shots in the game, 8 for Inter Miami, 7 for the Fire. 4 shots on target for Inter Miami, 2 shots on target for the Fire. The Fire have had more touches in the box, and then 18 touches comparatively to 10. And then as far as accurate passes, both teams sitting at about 85%. This is certainly one of those games where it's hot, it's heavy, it's humid. We do have hydration breaks. I'm at everyone's mercy there. I was trolling. I had no idea we were going to be doing a hydration break. But listen, it's about 90 degrees outside at 8:30 at night. So I completely understand. And to be honest, I wasn't one of those people that was completely against hydration breaks for the World Cup. Now, I'm a phony because I said you don't need to send me to a commercial. And what do? I have Cade make me, a 1-minute commercial break. But with about 9 minutes to go here at halftime, we're waiting to see if Inter Miami is going to be able to win this one coming up in the second half. No Lionel Messi, no Rodrigo de Paul. They are currently, resting. It was reported that FIFA recommended they would rest for about 20 days or so after competing in a tournament like that. And put it in perspective, too, I would say, 85, maybe even closer to 90% of the players who played in the 2026 FIFA World Cup, they all are going to have a holiday. They all are going to have a break because their season starts in August, and hence why the MLS and Inter Miami are going to be doing the sprint season, which is an abbreviated 14-game season starting from January and going to May, because they are trying to get on the same calendar as the other club football around the globe. So Inter Miami and the Herons Inter Miami and the MLS, starting in 2027 in August, they're going to be starting technically their full-blown season August 22nd. And they're doing the abbreviated season right after the new year into May. So I actually like it. I think it's great to get on the same schedule as some of these other European clubs and European teams, and not even European, Asia, everywhere. Everywhere really does the August to May schedule. Now, listen, I was born and bred on Cleveland sports, folks. Football, basketball, baseball. I was a United fan at a very young age. I watched the Prem for the better half of 20 years, rooting for, Manchester and company. But I'll tell you what, the soccer schedule is grueling. The world football schedule. I mean, some of these guys, they play some guys play about 60 games a year almost, for international, for club. Not to mention all of these, put yourself in Inter Miami players' shoes. If you're playing in CONCACAF, you got CONCACAF games. If you're playing in the MLS, you got MLS games. And on top of that, Leagues Cup. Inter Miami and Inter Miami players north of 45, 40-some games. So I completely understand the grueling schedule that it is from August to May and what these guys go through. But I think it's the right move, especially to grow the sport. I am a huge, I'm someone who's trying to help the movement of soccer growing in this country. I am a big fan of us changing that schedule and doing the sprint series. I think I think it makes the most sense. All right, let's get back to the game. Inter Miami and Chicago tied 1-1 here at halftime. Inter Miami's bench tonight, we're without a lot of players. Yeah, obviously without Messi and DePaul, but on top of that, Allende's got a knee injury, Ayshala's got a muscle injury, Falcone's got a calf injury, and Luan's got a calf injury. That's 4 additional players. And then 2 more because Alexander Shaw and Santiago Morales are on international duty. So in total, Inter Miami's missing 8 players from their bench. Available off the bench is Dane St. Clair, backup goalkeeper, Daniel Sumalo, who just signed his MLS deal, Ezekiel Abadi-Arita, and Noah Allen. Those are the 3 defenders. your two midfielders, Ian Urquidy and Preston Plambeck. And then the two attackers, Daniel Pinter, who we've seen play and play very well for Inter Miami, to be fair, and Diego Rey. Folks, let's take a timeout. When we come back, we will have the second half. This is your Inter Miami Radio Network.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients and South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath. Proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Michael Irvin, another promo just dropped on Hard Rock Bet. I got a profit boost this morning. Whoa, and a huge bonus bet just hit my account. Is the app on fire like this every week?
Only on days that end in Y. Like today, yesterday, all day, every day.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start playing today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
The Summer of Audi sales event is here. The finesse, the precision, and the power. We know the sound of performance when we hear it. Game recognizes game.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The greatest shopping event of the summer is here. Macy's Black Friday and July sale is back, where you'll find 40 to 60% savings on all the hottest summer fashion and more. Don't wait. Get first dibs on everything you love about Black Friday shopping, from unbeatable sales across the store to curated styles for the season at lower than low prices. Head to Macy's now for a fun-filled holiday shopping adventure smack dab in the middle of summer. It's the can't miss sale of the month, Black Friday and July at Macy's. Savings off select prices. Exclusions apply.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Summer of Audi sales event is here. The finesse, the precision, and the power. We know the sound of performance when we hear it. Game recognizes game.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, Ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football, because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
Folks, I got a message from myself and my entire Inter Miami family. We download playlists, we download tickets, we download memes and everything that keeps us happy and entertained. And folks, if you're listening to this match through the official Inter Miami CF app, we salute you. And for everyone else, get the official Inter Miami CF app today for match highlights, digital tickets, exclusive download giveaways, anything you need. Live match coverage and all of the latest club news. Everything Inter Miami right there on your phone. That is the Inter Miami CF app. We salute you at Inter Miami and on your Inter Miami radio network. The second half officially kicked off here at New Stadium. 1-1 your score. Robert Lewandowski, on his debut, hasn't scored a goal yet, but he's had a couple of nice moments, a couple of backheel moments in the box. But as a diehard Inter Miami fan, I hope it stays quiet. 46-minute, 1 minute played. The Fire playing out of their box with Chris Brady, their goalkeeper. Brady will go to the far side touchline and Gutman. Ball won by Inter Miami, and now out of bounds will be a throw-in for the Fire. Once again, download that Inter Miami CF app today. You can listen to me wherever you're at in the country. Near side touchline now. The Fire centralized to Avila. Out of their own box, the Fire now finds a Bamba, who's streaking into midfield, now back to Avila. Chicago trying to probe out of their own half, and ball won by Dithejane. On it is Silvetti. Played to Suárez with a lot of space. Luis will go to Davi Ruiz. Ruiz back to Suárez. Can he make something happen? And that one ended up on the foot of Ruiz, and he accidentally hit it out of the back. And that'll be a goal kick for the Chicago Fire. I believe we have a substitution for the Fire. I'll work on that one. Other MLS action, LAFC up 1-0 against Seattle. The Crew up 2-0 against Atlanta. And now here's Diavia, played immediately from Chris Brady. And now taking the ground is Dean, and there's the whistle. Rubel Vasquez blowing his whistle. And I'm at your mercy, folks. I was looking at matchups from May 24th. A little rusty here on your Inter Miami radio network. But NYCFC up 1-0 against the Crew. Cincinnati up 3-2 against Vancouver. Inter Miami and Chicago, obviously, we're tied here 1-1 at New Bank Stadium. 0-0 between the Revolution and Toronto. And Inter Miami exchanging possession with the Fire right now. The Fire now building something right outside of the penalty arc. Lewandowski to Salatoros. Salatoros looking for Robert right outside of the penalty arc. That one won by Segovia. But the Fire back on it with Diavia. To Lewandowski in the box. And Mikael able to thwart that and tackle it away. Still in trouble is Inter Miami because Moura loses the duel to Gutman. Gutman crosses it into the box and almost a one-timer there for the Fire at the penalty arc. Now Inter Miami has numbers with Matteo Silvetti. Silvetti, near side touchline, cutting in towards the box. Silvetti still on it. Good run by Matteo. He'll lay it up to Facundo Moura. Moura to Suárez, and Luis couldn't get there. That one out of bounds, going to be a throw-in for Inter Miami. At the penalty arc, here's Silvetti to Suárez, who goes to the ground. No foul. He was looking for a penalty. And now on it is Diavia. Tactically, the Chicago Fire have changed things up. What got me tripped up Holly Selassie now is playing in a dual strike partnership with Robert Lewandowski. Inter Miami on it, right outside of the box. Segovia almost with a big-time thunderous boot from outside of the box. Could have ended up in the back of the net, but just a bit high of that crossbar. But Greg Berhalter, folks, switching to a 4-4-2. Dean, Waterman, Elliott, Gutman in the back. Zinkernagel, Diavia, Salatros, and Bamba in the midfield now. And then Holly Selassie and Robert Lewandowski, the dual strike partnership up top for the second half. Inter Miami, 4-4-2 as well. Suárez and Bertarame, the two strikers up top. Ruiz actually playing a sort of a right midfielder. And Matteo Silvetti coming off of that left side, who's been dangerous tonight. I feel like he's been a little bit unlucky coming off that left side tonight. He's had a couple of opportunities. 50th minute, 1-1, Inter Miami and the Fire. Ball won by Inter Miami and Yannick Bright. Here's Luis Suarez. Suarez cutting into the penalty arc. Luis lays it up to Bertarame. Back to Luis. Goal! Luis Suarez with a brace. Coming off of watching his friends at the World Cup, picking up right where he left off before the international break. What link-up play by Inter Miami. Great pass into Bertarame. Bertarame with a great pass to Luis, and it's 2-1 in the 50th minute. Inter Miami on top. My OG on-site producer, Oscar Gonzalez, called the shot. He said 2 goals. Now, if we want to rewind back to May 24th, in Inter Miami's last 2 MLS games, Luis Suarez has 5 goals. He had a hat trick against Philadelphia, and now he has a brace. Good for Luis, and good for our Herons, who have the lead here in the second half. Ball immediately played off of the kickoff. And 52nd minute, the Fire are looking for answers. Berhalter, head gaffer for Chicago, immediately telling his boys, turn up the pressure. As Selassie with a nifty pass to Zinkernagel. And wow, Talasco Segovia able to stop a possible opportunity. It was almost a good link-up play with Salatros. But Inter Miami thwarts it away. Going to be a throw-in. For the Fire. Far side touchline. Chris Brady on it, the goalkeeper. Now played to Elliott. Diavia. Here's Waterman. Press on for Inter Miami and a foul. Going to go against Reguilon. Holly Selassie going to ground. Still grabbing that right ankle. Once again, Rubel Vasquez, the head referee in this game. '53rd minute, 2-1 Inter Miami. Dean standing over it on a free kick. He'll play it to Salatros. Far side touchline, Gutman. Inter Miami's formed defensively, looking well in this second half. I mentioned that both teams switched things up tactically. Both teams went with a dual strike partnership up top. Now near side touchline. This is Selassie, still on it. All the action right now for the Fire on the near side touchline. Now Diavia will switch his fields to the far side. Bamba on it. Now Gutman back to Diavia. Yannick Bright and Bertarame laying up the press now. But Diavia is still with it. Salatoros, 54th minute, 2-1 Inter Miami. The Fire parked in Inter Miami territory on that far side touchline. Little 3-man 3-ball between Gutman, Elliott, and Diavia. Speaking of Gutman, he streaks into the box, throws down Davy Ruiz, and that one going to be a free kick for Inter Miami. Foul. Foul is the verdict. Our first game here in the MLS for our Herons since May 24th. Once again, the last time we saw Inter Miami, a 10-goal game. A 10-goal game for Inter Miami, which the Herons ended up winning 6-4. Luis Suárez with a hat trick in the match. A couple of assists by Lionel Messi. And going to ground is a Fire player trying to get you guys a number. That was Dean. That foul is going to go against Silvetti. Free kick quickly taken by the Fire. Dean on it. Near side touchline to Diavia. Diavia switching his fields to Gutman on the far side touchline. Gutman streaking in. Will do a big turn and retreat back to the midfield. Diavia and Elliott, 2-man 2-ball. They find Salatoros. Salatoros lays it up to Lewandowski. Now near side touchline, Selassie, and that one going to the back stick looking for Robert. And Lewandowski unable to get there, thwarted away. Good job there by Ian Frey. Ali Selassie has been very active, folks, in this second half since switching from midfielder to a striker. That one out of bounds, going to be a throw-in near side touchline right outside of the box for the Chicago Fire. Taking the throw will be Selassie. Selassie gives it right to Avila. Closing it down is Segovia. They'll go right back near side touchline. Selassie will cross it in, lay it up. Here's Zinkernagel, and that one cleared away at the last moment by Davy Ruiz. Davy Ruiz has had a solid game so far, winning a penalty for Inter Miami to get Luis Suárez his first goal from his brace. And a couple of timely clearances and tracking back by the midfielder. Well, Ruiz playing a little box-to-box tonight. 57th minute, 2-1. Inter Miami on top of the Fire. Mike Rizzo, voice of the Inter Miami Herons with you. My OG, on-site producer, Oscar Gonzalez. Our frequency coordinator, Paul Adams. Kate Chumsland, back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We're enjoying a current scoreline of 2-1 for our beloved Herons. 2 goals by Luis Suárez, a spot kick, and then a nice goal set up by Herman Betarame. Betarame and Suárez, the 2 strikers for Inter Miami, and we have a foul. Sergio Reguilon got pulled back by Salatoros. No cards in the game so far. A couple of fouls, but no cards in the game so far. Rubel Vasquez, the head referee. 58th minute, 2-1. Segovia now 2-man 2-ball with him and Reguilon. 3-man 3-ball now with Mikael. Now Inter Miami switches their fields. Davy Ruiz taking the ground, getting a little chippy out there. Might be time for old Rubel Vasquez to pull some cards out. That's the second foul in a row where an Inter Miami player has went to ground. Free kick immediately taken by Inter Miami. They want that ball. This is Segovia. Gets it past midfield. Now Yannick Bright. Bright. Suárez taking the ground actually. I'm at your mercy. No call. But Inter Miami back on it. Dangerous spot. Betarame up to Davy Ruiz. Ruiz right in the box on the right side. He retreats back to the far side touchline on that right side. Mora now. Won by Ruiz. Bright, right to the penalty arc to Silvetti. Silvetti lays it up for Betarame, and a last-ditch effort clearance by Waterman. The Canadian men's national team man, Joel Waterman, who played for Jesse Marsh booted that one out, and it's going to be a corner kick for Inter Miami, presented by Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Farnrath. For over 40 years, Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Farnrath have been serving injured people and their families. Visit foryourrights.com. Folks, if you've been in an accident, the ones to defend us on your Inter Miami radio network are Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Farnrath. Segovia takes a right foot, right-sided corner. In the air is Berterame. Now Suárez off the volley, and that one bounces off ahead. And I'm at your mercy. That was Regulon off the volley. And we're going to do it again. Corner kick presented by Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Farnrath. For over 40 years, Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Farnrath have been serving injured people and their families. ForYourRights.com. ForYourRights.com. Main offices in Palm Beach Gardens. Regulon will take a left foot, left side corner. Regulon pass in, deflected away by the Fire. On it outside of the penalty arc is Segovia. He immediately plays Berterame, who plays it back to the defense. We'll recycle with Ian Frey right at midfield. Now Facundo Mora to Silvetti. But all the action on the far side touchline. Now, as I say that, Mora goes right back to midfield and Ian Frey. Right at the midfield circle is Mikael now. Your side touchline, Regulon. Now Inter Miami will truly go in their own half. Frey to Mora. Back to midfield are our Herons. This is Davi Ruiz on the far side touchline. He plays Luis Suárez. Suárez, good pass to Silvetti. Right outside of the box. Silvetti, nifty move. Still on it, Mateo. Still on it, Silvetti. And finally gets broken down on the far side touchline by Haile Selassie, who is everywhere. Selassie back on it. A lot of space for the Fire. Could be a counterattack coming for Chicago. Dean, acres of space. He's enjoying the ball. Selassie goes to ground and a foul. Always a foul. Good foul by Segovia. Tell you what, Rubel Vasquez has not pulled the cards out yet. 61st minute, 2-1 Inter Miami on top of Chicago. We do have a substitution. Coming off of the pitch is Philip Zinkernagel. And coming onto the pitch will be Puso Dithejane. So Puso Dithejane coming on. Actually, a plethora of players coming on. We'll get you an update. And Maurizio Pineda. So Pineda and Dithejane. Puso Dithejane from South Africa. 21-year-old, very young player. And then Pineda, the 28-year-old veteran from the United States. Standing over a free kick from the foul is Salatros. He'll go back stick. Rios Novo off his lines. Good job as he catches it. 63rd minute, 2-1 Inter Miami on top of Chicago. Rios Novo with a deep throw finds Mora. Mora winds up trying to switch the field, deflected. And that one will roll to the Fire's box. Berhalter pleading for the ball to come to the near side touchline. It finally does to Dean. Dean playing Lewandowski forward. Ian Frey fighting with Robert Lewandowski, and that one smothered away by Rios Novo. And I'm actually at your mercy, folks. Robert Lewandowski off of the pitch. So his debut comes to an end in the 63rd minute. Puso Dithejane, Maurizio Pineda, and Robin Ladd, the three players to come on for the Fire. And now a foul. Herman Berterame on the ground, and the first card of the game has been shown. That one is going to go against Elliott. Jack Elliott, the 30-year-old veteran English center back, getting cited on a foul on Herman Berterame. But once again, Robert Lewandowski off of the pitch. His MLS debut will not be fruitful with a goal or an assist, but still exciting. Pineda, Dithejane, and Lod on. Once again, off, Diavia, Lewandowski, and Zinkernagel. Inter Miami now still on it in Chicago territory. Probing with Berterame. Here's Suárez to Facundo Mora. Far side touchline right outside of the box. Mora tried getting it in to Herman Berterame, and that one will almost roll out of bounds. A good save there by Davi Ruiz. And now played back to Rios Novo. Here's Mikael. Near side touchline, Reguilon. Reguilon cuts in. Now Segovia. Midfield, Bright. Mora. Far side touchline. Right past midfield. 65th minute, 2-1 Inter Miami on top. The Herons probing out of their defense, passing back and forth in their own half. From the midfield to their own half. Midfield to their own half. The press is on for Chicago. Now pinned back in their boxes, Inter Miami. And a bad turnover by Yannick Bright. Here's a chance for Salatoros, and he got it all wrong. Thankfully, he was in the box and didn't know where to go with it, and now Inter Miami has a chance to counter. Mora actually decides to hold things up on the far side touchline instead of going for it. A little odd to me there. But Inter Miami thankfully back on the ball after a really bad turnover by Yannick Bright. Near side touchline, Silvetti. He gets shut down by Dean and Dithejane. Pineda on it. Now Lod playing in, or rather trying to play in Bamba, and that one booted out of bounds. Both teams right now, right when you think they're about to get that end product, it breaks down right at the final moment. Both Inter Miami and Chicago having troubles in front of net the last 10 minutes. Nifty pass for Chicago. And a shot on target and a goal! Getting into the back of the net is the recently substituted Puso Dithejane. The South African finding the back of the net. The announcer's curse. I said both teams struggling with end product, and the Fire tie it up in the 67th minute. Once again, Puso Dithejane, the 21-year-old South African. We saw the South African team in the World Cup go to the knockout round and lose to Canada, but Puso Dithejane. '67th minute, 2-2 now. Things heating up a little bit here at New Stadium. Segovia to Davi Ruiz. Can Inter Miami find a response? Ruiz, acres of space, inching to the penalty arc. He'll lay it up to Suárez. Now to Segovia. Reguilon. Segovia. Here's Bright and a foul. Thought so. Yannick Bright taking the ground and a foul. Rubel Vasquez blowing his whistle. We're going to have a substitution for Inter Miami. Plambeck. Preston Plambeck about to come on for Inter Miami. And coming off the pitch is Davi Ruiz. Ruiz earned a penalty for Inter Miami, which Luis Suárez booted in the back of the net. But Preston Plambeck going to finish this game out for Inter Miami. Guillermo Hoyos, gaffer and head coach, looking on for Inter Miami. Trying to maybe push for a full three here. Plambeck, more of an attacking midfielder. Davi Ruiz, more box to box, I think has more defending qualities. So I think Hoyos going for the game a little bit here. Fair play to him. 69th minute, 2-2. You have an own goal by Rios Novo for Chicago, and then Dithejane And for Inter Miami, Luis Suarez on a brace. Silvetti lays it up to Reguilon at the byline, near side touchline. Good cross in, but thwarted away by Chicago. On a big-time clearance for Chicago. Lod ends up with it. Now right in the middle of the pitch with numbers is Chicago. Here's Bamba. Bamba enjoying the ball to Gutman. Chance and a shot. Lod still on it, and oh my goodness, Lod gave good service. That was Haile Selassie getting that finish all wrong. Oh no, that's a tough break for the Chicago Fire, but we won't complain as Inter Miami supporters. Oh my goodness. Lod with the beautiful pass in. Haile Selassie had everybody beat on that back stick. And folks, honestly, it was reminiscent of the Rocco Rios Novo howler. He went Charlie Brown, missed the ball. It's the second time tonight that's happened. 70th minute, 2-2. Chicago wasting an opportunity. Halassi back on it. Now Bamba. Ball won by Inter Miami, and Bright now lost again. Lod in the box, cleared away. Inter Miami's going to have to find some possession here quickly. The Fire threatening. Far side touchline, Gutman. And that ball deflected out of bounds. Going to be a throw-in for Chicago. Chicago on it still. Far side touchline. 71st minute, 2-2. Inter Miami and Chicago. Right at midfield, I mean, no pressure from the Herons. Basically, Chicago just enjoying the ball. Now, here comes their attack. Broken down by Inter Miami now, and they'll send Berterame deep on the right side flank. Far side touchline, Berterame on it. Can this bear fruit for Inter Miami? Good move by Berterame, leaving defenders in his way, crosses it in, and that one will roll out for a corner kick presented by Lido Ryder Smith, Ivy, and Farnrath. For over 40 years, Lido Ryder Smith, Ivy, and Farnrath have been serving injured people and their families. Visit foryourrights.com. That is foryourrights.com. We're seeing the replay on the Haile Selassie whiff. And my goodness, we were inches away from Chicago in the lead. Segovia, though, right foot, right side corner. Service in. Silvetti at the back stick, can't get to it. But Inter Miami's still on it. Suarez will lay it up to Reguilon. Reguilon to Silvetti in the box. Silvetti services it, looking for Plambeck at the penalty arc. Ends up with Mora. Far side touchline now to Plambeck, cutting into the box. Preston Plambeck crosses it in, headed away, back to Plambeck. Let's do this again. To Mora, penalty arc. Bright, Suarez, Reguilon. Great passing by Inter Miami, and now the announcer's curse breaks it down. The Fire thwarted away, and on it, in Inter Miami territory, near midfield, is Ian Frey. Frey to Mikael, 73rd minute, 2-2, Inter Miami and Chicago. Mora, far side touchline now. Segovia, past midfield. Telasco. Nifty move, cutting in, and he finds somebody. Segovia still on it. To Silvetti. Can Preston Plambeck get their far side touchline right before the corner, and he can't cradle it. He went to ground to try to cradle it from going out of bounds. And it'll be a goal kick for Chicago. More substitutions coming on. Daniel Pinter will come on for Matteo Silvetti. So Silvetti off, Pinter on. So far, 2 substitutions for Inter Miami. Plambeck and Pinter. 74th minute, 2-2, all tied up here at New Stadium. The Fire and Inter Miami. The Fire clear it onto their box. On it is Haile Selassie. That rolls out of bounds, and Selassie going to immediately throw it in. Nope, he's going to lay it up to the fullback, which is always a smart move. And now we have our hydration break. As my good friend back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, Kate Chumsland, puts together a timeout for us. What a second half it's been so far. 2 goals, one for Inter Miami and one for the Chicago Fire. It was the recently substituted Puso Dithejane who had the goal for the Fire, and Luis Suárez is on a brace. More of your Inter Miami Radio Network when we return on ESPN 106.3.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The greatest shopping event of the summer is here. Macy's Black Friday and July sale is back, where you'll find 40 to 60% savings on all the hottest summer fashion and more. Don't wait. Get first dibs on everything you love about Black Friday shopping, from unbeatable sales across the store to curated styles for the season at lower than low prices. Head to Macy's now for a fun-filled holiday shopping adventure smack dab in the middle of summer. It's the can't miss sale of the month. Black Friday and July at Macy's. Savings off select prices. Exclusions apply.
There are over 1 million people in the U.S. living with profound autism. Many can't speak. Many can't live alone. Few get what they need. The world isn't built for them, and too often it forgets them. But we see them, and we know what's possible with help. Well, to read more about Autism Speaks, science, advocacy, and awareness and acceptance efforts, or to read about some of our other initiatives, please visit autismspeaks.org.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Now let's get to the pitch. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Hydration break almost over here in the 77th minute. Inter Miami and Chicago 2-2 on your Inter Miami Radio Network. I am Mike Rizzo here on site calling the game for you. The voice of the Herons back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach is our great guy, Kate Chumsland. Our OG on-site producer, Oscar Gonzalez, to my left, as well as Paul Adams, our frequency coordinator. Inter Miami in a dogfight. Sadly, one of the 2 goals was very self-inflicted in that first half, where Rocco Rios Novo was not on the same page as Ian Frey. It was an own goal. And then the recently substituted Puso Dithejane, the South African, coming on and immediately scoring a goal. He came on in the 62nd minute and scored in the 67th. So 5 minutes went by and the young 21-year-old found the back of the net. Luis Suárez on a brace, a penalty kick which was awarded by Davi Ruiz. Suárez booted it in the back of the net, and then Suárez scoring a goal assisted by Dithejane in the second half. Hydration break over, and we are underway. The Fire had something going forward, and it was thwarted away. On it now is our center back, Mikael. Near side touchline now played. Talasco Segovia, Reguilon now looking for Plambeck and a turnover, but can he get there? He does! What a great play by Ian Frey. Frey saved an opportunity for the Fire, but now the Fire is still on it. Inter Miami's going to lock in defensively and flags up offsides. Haile Selassie for the Fire, who has an assist tonight, but also had a big-time whiff at the back stick. This one could easily be 3-2 to Chicago. But in the 79th minute, Inter Miami back on it now. Mikael getting harassed by Haile Selassie. He made a nice turn, left him in his wake, and now him and Yannick Bright, 2-man 2-ball in midfield. Once again, 2-2, Inter Miami and Chicago. Inter Miami Radio Network. Dying ember moments of the game. Mikael now to Frey, far side touchline for Kundo Mora. The wave has broken out here at News Stadium. Great crowd for a Wednesday night. Fans in full voice right now as they're trying to see their team through for a full 3, 2-2. Yannick Bright looking for Berterame, and Berterame made a nice move into the box. And that ball got thwarted away out of bounds, throwing near side touchline. Inter Miami's not waiting. They went quick. Here's Daniel Pinter cutting into the box. Pinter now trying to place someone at the penalty arc. Deflected. Inter Miami on it at midfield with Frey. Frey now will play it back to Rios Novo. And the ball officially recycled to the defense. So Inter Miami will try to probe on the defense. 80 minutes. I'm very interested to see how bad Guillermo Hoyos wants to go for this game without Rodrigo de Paul and Lionel Messi. And not only that, I mentioned Inter Miami is without 8 players tonight. 3 of them, 4 or 5 being starters. So, 2-2, a draw, not the worst thing ever. But Hoyos subbed on some attackers in Pinter and Plambeck. And as I say that, Pinter has it in the box. Now to Reguilon. I'm at your mercy. Bright was looking for Suárez at the back stick. Here's Reguilon. Reguilon again to the back stick, and that one headed out of bounds by Gutman in another corner, presented by Lido Rider Smith Ivy and Farmrath for over 40 years. Lido Rider Smith Ivy and Farmrath have been serving injured people and their families. Visit foryourrights.com. Folks, that's foryourrights.com. The guys who protect us if we get injured on your Inter Miami Radio Network. On Lido Rider Smith Ivy and Farmrath. Right side, right foot corner by Segovia. And a one-timer by Reguilon goes over the post. Closer than I think others think. Good effort. And in the 82nd minute, going to be a goal kick for Chris Brady and the Chicago Fire. Brady plays a dangerous ball to Salatros. Salatros knew he had to get rid of it immediately, did his job, but now we have a throw-in on the near side touchline. I thought that was going Inter Miami's way, but they give it to the Fire. Ball headed around. Won by Inter Miami, now a foul. Rubel Vasquez blowing his whistle, head referee. And in the 83rd minute, the Fire are going to have a free kick. Right at midfield, they immediately take it quickly. Salatros is on it. The Fire have used 3 subs, Inter Miami 2. Wonder if Berhalter or the Hoyos might go one more. Fight for the ball. Yannick Bright trying to play through Suárez. Won by the Fire. Jonathan Bamba with a lot of space to the penalty arc now. Haile Selassie again. Dithejane to Land, and now Mikael in a dangerous spot. He's got to get rid of it, and he turns it over. Haile Selassie in the box. Now Bamba. Bamba, nifty move to the byline. Mikael tackles him, and now a corner kick for the Fire, presented by Lido Rider Smith Ivy and Farmrath. For over 40 years, Lido Rider Smith Ivy and Farmrath have been serving injured people and their families. ForYourRights.com. You've been injured. ForYourRights.com. As I mentioned, is there going to be another substitution? Noah Allen checking into the game and coming off of the pitch. Hold on. Who's coming off, boys? Can't play with 12. Oh, it's Ian Frey. He sneaked out. He sneaked out of the back. Ian Frey off, Allen on. So Allen will finish the game at center back. Corner kick taken by Salatros. Back stick looking for the big body Land. Still in the air. Won by Land in the box. Land crosses it in and one. Rios Novo grabbing it and immediately throwing to Suárez. Suárez, nice pass. Switching his fields to Segovia. To Lasco. To Plambeck. Plambeck with space in the box. Cross in. Still on it, Inter Miami, and now thwarted away by Chicago. Couple of nice passes that finally broke down. Inter Miami's got to lock in defensively. Bamba on the run. Bamba cross in, and Land not home on the back stick. Facundo Mora ends up with it. Mora to midfield in Segovia. 85th minute, 2-2. Dying ember moments of the game. Segovia, midfield. Mora, far side touchline, in fire territory. They'll retreat. Now Inter Miami back in the half of the fire. Near side touchline. Now Suárez right outside of the penalty area. Bertolone back to Luis. Luis shot blocked and a goal! A rebound goal by Preston Plambeck. What could have been a hat trick for Suárez took a wicked deflection, and Preston Plambeck, the young man from the academy who now plays for the big boys, scores 3-2. Inter Miami on top. Can they see this through? Can Inter Miami skid a full 3 without 8 players? Inter Miami is missing 8 players. Allende, Ayala, Falcone, Luan, Shaw, Morales, Messi, DePaul. Can a short-handed Inter Miami get a full 3 against a top team in the Eastern Conference? Strap in, folks. Play resumed. 87th minute, 3-2. Inter Miami on top. The Fire get it immediately to the penalty arc, and that one booted away by Brighton. I believe we have an offsides, and it'll be a free kick for Inter Miami in their box. We're about to get to the 88th minute. We have a substitution coming onto the pitch. I believe they have the numbers wrong, by the way. We have Berhalter, Greg Berhalter, his final substitution of the game. Dithejane, Pineda, and Lod have already came onto the pitch. We'll work on some names for you here. I saw a number 20 check in, I believe. Yeah, Jason Shakaluk checking in for the Fire. So another attacker coming on for the Fire as they try to maybe equalize our Herons here at the dying embers of the game. Big-time players show up when the Fire is dying. And I'll tell you what, Luis Suárez, another shot on target, and Plambeck in the back of the net. And now Rubel Vasquez blowing his whistle. I believe we have an offsides that'll go against the young Daniel Pinter. Inter Miami faithful in full voice, trying to see their lads through over the race line. Whistles out, trying to get the crowd going. Mikael trying to marshal away an opportunity for the Fire. He goes to the ground, and Rubel Vasquez blows his whistle. Going to be a free kick for Inter Miami deep in their own territory on the near side touchline. Mikael still down, dealing with cramps. I believe that is Daniel Pinter stretching him out, and it is. He's all right. I was about to say, we're very shorthanded at the moment. We're 20 seconds away from finding out the allotted extra time presented by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Rios Novo will boot away the free kick. Winning the aerial ball are the Fire. We have 8 minutes of extra time presented by your local South Florida Audi dealer. AudiUSA.com to learn more. Folks, 8 minutes. 8 minutes. The hell did they get 8 minutes? 8 minutes of extra time presented by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. That's AudiUSA.com to learn more. What, did we have a 10-minute water break? 8 minutes. Where did they get 8 minutes from? Granted, I am the ultimate homer, but 8 minutes is a bit much. Inter Miami immediately off of the free kick, trying to find Daniel Pinter streaking up. And that ball won by the Fire, and now they're going deep. Far side touchline. The Fire in a dangerous spot. Right outside of the box. Moura defending. Ball in, Lod shot, and scooped up by Rios Novo. Lod did not put enough mustard. He didn't put nearly enough mustard on that left foot attempt. Slowly rolled the Rios Novo, but a big opportunity for the Fire in the 91st minute. And now Inter Miami turns it over. A tough spot again. But finally, Reguilon is on it after a ball won at the penalty arc, but the press is on for the Fire. Have a lot of new faces on the pitch. Once again, Shaka Luke, Vitor Radovic, Robin Lod, Mauricio Pineda, and one of the goal scorers, Puso Dithejane. So Greg Berhalter has officially used all of his substitutions in this one to try to grab some points and try to grab a result. Plambeck, far side touchline. Turns it over, but thankfully Inter Miami on it again. Been a lot of that. Turnover and then turn it back over by the other team. Back and forth. Reguilon cuts into the box. Dangerous spot for Sergio. Pass in. And that went nowhere. The Fire now. Can they counter? Lod plays it back to the right side flank. With acres of space now is Dithejane. Now Salatoros. Salatoros is enjoying it. Gets it to Bamba. Far side touchline. Right outside of the box. Dean. Back to Bamba. Bamba. Pass in. Puso Dithejane trying to finesse it in. Got it all wrong. It'll be a goal kick for Inter Miami. Or I meant your mercy. That was the offsides. Offsides from the lines judge. .93 minutes. 3 minutes of the allotted 8. We got 5 minutes left to go. Can Inter Miami hang on? Rios Novo boots it near side touchline. Pinter, nifty header, and Suárez was looking right back to Pinter, and that one goes out of bounds. Tell you what, Luis has played 93 minutes. I haven't seen him do this, Oscar, in 2 years, 2.5 years. Exaggerating a bit, but certainly, folks, Luis Suárez given a full shift today post-World Cup, and he has a brace. Fire throw it in. Past midfield now. On it is Pineda. Now Shakaluk. Salatoros, Shakaluk, 2-man 2-ball. Midfield, Elliott. 94 minutes now. 4 minutes of the 8 played. Bamba cuts in. Trying to get an opportunity into one of the big boys in the box, thwarted away by Inter Miami. Can Birdie split the defenders? He does. What a move by Herman Berterame. He split two defenders, and he gets tracked down, but Luis Suárez has space at the penalty arc. Suárez still on it, goes to ground, and nothing. Suárez looking for a penalty, never a foul though, my personal opinion. Luis was better off shooting that, but we're inching closer to the 95th minute here. Can Inter Miami hang on? Salatros back to Dean. Dean's put in a shift tonight, him and Salatros. Salatros looking for a crossing Dithejane, and now Yannick Bright taking him out. But Dithejane back on it, shot by Lod, and oh my goodness. That ball went, 5 rows over. Tell you what, Robin Lod has had a rough go at it. The 33-year-old Finnish striker has had a rough go here in the second half since coming on. We have an Inter Miami player cramping, so we're going to go past the 98th minute. It's Yannick Bright. Seems to be all right. But 95-48, 95-49. We've played 6 minutes of the allotted 8 now. 96th minute now. Can Inter Miami get over the line and get the full 3? Play resumed, and the Fire win the free kick from Rios Novo. I'll tell you what, Dithejane with a lot of space, no one stopping him, and now we have a card coming. Honestly, a good foul. I mean, Daniel Pinter had to do something, or else that man was running right in on net. But a dangerous spot for a free kick. Now, to be honest, folks, famous last words, I don't think anybody on the field for the Chicago Fire has the quality to score this goal from this free kick spot. That's with all due respect. The player who could have done it was Lewandowski, and he's not on the pitch anymore. A player who done it was Hugo Kuipers, who now plays for CF Monterrey, CF Monterrey, getting my M's mixed up, and my leagues. But taking it on is Salatros. This is, folks, what, Oscar? 7-8 yards outside of the penalty arc. I mean, this is close. About awful at the eye test when it comes to yards. Bet your mercy, everyone. But listen, if someone has quality for this Fire team, they are going to be able to put a shot on target. Absolutely. Rubel Vasquez is marshaling, head referee, marshaling the wall. He blows his whistle. This is Salatros. Salatros, left foot shot, and nope. Over the crossbar. Nah, never had a chance. Nobody on the field for Chicago has the quality to do it right now. The man who did is on the bench. Tell you what, I feel confident with Luis Suárez or Segovia in that moment. Obviously, we have the greatest, free kick player in the world, Lionel Messi, who's currently catching a breather after the World Cup. The 98th minute. That should do it after we boot this away. And that is full time. Inter Miami winners 3-2. Welcome back with a full 3 points on your Inter Miami radio network. Tell you what, there's a lot of tired herons on the pitch right now. Luis Suárez, Yannick Bright. It's been 2 months since they played a full game, and they went the full 90. Folks, we'll do one segment of post-game when we return on your Inter Miami radio network.
The Summer of Audi sales event is here. The finesse, the precision, and the power. We know the sound of performance when we hear it. Game recognizes game.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, Ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football, because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath, proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Irv, you watching the game?
Watching? I'm all over these live bets on the Hard Rock Bet app right now. Brother, I'm in the game. That's a quick winner. Si se puede, si se puede, si se
Live
puede.
betting on Hard Rock Bet makes any game worth celebrating.
Si se.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start live betting today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
The pink smoke is in the air. This is the Inter Miami postgame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Scored 3-2. Inter Miami getting full 3 points post the World Cup break. Luis Suárez with 2 goals in the fixture, a penalty kick goal, a spot kick goal, and a goal assisted by Germán Berterame in the second half. Inter Miami 34 points in second place in the Eastern Conference. They get a full game over the Chicago Fire, who they defeated today, who happens to be the third-place team. Let's go through all of the goals before we wrap things up. Rocco Rios Novo had an own goal in the 18th minute, sadly, to open the scoring up. The press is on for the Fire. Near side touchline, Moura. Now back to Frey. Oh, did a howler! No! A howler by Rios Novo! And that's going to be a goal for the Chicago Fire. Oh, no! Didn't take long, though, for Luis Suárez to tie things up from the penalty spot. Davi Ruiz earning a penalty in the box after getting illegally tackled, and Suárez made him pay. Whistle. Shot. Goal! Off of the left post and into the back of the net. Luis Suárez tying it up in the 26th minute. 1-1. This one all even. Now it was 1-1 heading into halftime. We waited about 11 minutes, and then Luis Suárez had this goal assisted by Germán Berterame. Ball won by Inter Miami and Yannick Bright. Here's Luis Suárez. Suárez cutting into the penalty arc. Luis lays it up the Berterame. Back to Luis. Goal! Luis Suárez with a brace. Coming off of watching his friends at the World Cup. Picking up right where he left off before the international break. Luis Suárez had a hat trick against the Union in the final game before the international break. Suárez has 5 goals in the last 2 MLS matchups for Inter Miami. Puso Dithejane subbing on for Chicago and finding the back of the net 5 minutes later, tying it up 2-2 at the time. Nifty pass for Chicago. And a shot on target and a goal! Getting into the back of the net is the recently substituted Puso Dithejane. So Dithejane, the young South African, finding the back of the net. And then Inter Miami found the goal from the substitute, Preston Plambeck. 87th minute, Inter Miami going to win this one 3-2. Now Inter Miami back in the half of the Fire. Near side touchline. Now Suárez right outside of the penalty area. Berterame back to Luis. Luis shot blocked and a goal! A rebound goal by Preston Plambeck. What could have been a hat trick for Suárez took a wicked deflection, and Preston Plambeck, the young man from the academy who now plays for the big boys, scores 3-2. Inter Miami on top. Can they see this through? Inter Miami saw it through and got the full 3 points against the Fire tonight. Final score 3-2 on your Inter Miami radio network. The next time we will talk to you will be Saturday, July 25th. So this Saturday at Montreal in Canada. Inter Miami going to be doing action Saturday the 25th against CF Montreal. I want to remind all you guys that we download playlists, we download tickets, we download memes, and everything that keeps us happy and entertained. If you're listening to, or rather, if you listen to this match, you're listening to us right now through the Inter Miami CF app, we salute you here at Inter Miami. And for everyone else, you need to get the official Inter Miami CF app. Get the official Inter Miami CF app today for match highlights, digital tickets, exclusive videos, giveaways, live match coverage like this broadcast, and all of the latest club news. Everything Inter Miami right there on your phone. That's the Inter Miami CF app. Final score 3-2. We'll catch up with you guys on Saturday. This is Mike Rizzo signing off. A couple of thank yous. Thank you to my OG on-site producer, Oscar Gonzalez. Thank you to our frequency coordinator, Paul Adams. And thank you to Kate Chumsland, who does a great job, as always, back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Final score 3-2. We'll talk to you guys Saturday. Goodbye.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath. Proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Irv, you watching the game?
Watching? I'm all over these live bets on the Hard Rock Bet app right now. Brother, I'm in the game. That's a quick winner. Si se puede, si se puede, si se
Live
puede.
betting on Hard Rock Bet makes any game worth celebrating.
Si se.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start live betting today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football, because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
We now return to our regularly scheduled programming already in progress on ESPN 106.3.